your voice, your vote tonight. Primary election results and reaction as voters make their voices heard in both Minnesota and Wisconsin. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dustin Lukey. It's been a busy year already for voters and, of course, elections officials. Thank you to everyone out there facilitating the process today. A primary night on both sides of the Mississippi whittles down the down-ballot candidates for November as the presidential primaries happen this spring. And in Wisconsin, voters also weighed possible changes to the state constitution today. Two questions dealt with appropriations of spending of federal dollars in the state, basically asking voters whether the legislature should have oversight in that process or it be left up to the governor. Governor Tony Evers leading the charge on the Vote No campaign, arguing it would add unnecessary delays for emergency funding, and that effort proved successful on both questions today. Republicans in the state legislature had said the amendments would offer more oversight and transparency, but again, the Vote No votes prevailed, 58% to 42%, with about 64% of the vote in. One of the key primaries we've been watching these past few months, who will take on Derek Van Orden for Wisconsin's 3rd congressional district seat this fall? And let's go to the results right now with 47% of the vote in, a close race still at hand with plenty to be counted. Rebecca Cook, who first ran against Brad Pfaff for the nomination in 2022, with 47% of the vote right now. State Representative Katrina Shanklin from Stevens Point with 44%, and Eric Wilson, a political newcomer, with just 9% right now. Tonight we are hearing from Cook, who is focused today on the work ahead.
So increasing access and affordability is going to be a top priority of mine when I get to Congress. I also know running against somebody like Derek Van Orden, who was at the Stop the Steal rally and is an election denier, it's protecting our democracy.
And we are also hearing from Representative Shanklin in La Crosse today for one final effort to get voters out to the polls. She says it's going to take more than just the Democratic base to flip that seat back to blue in November.
We know that it's going to take Democrats and independents and even some moderate Republicans who care a lot about democracy and freedom. And that's what I've been talking about every day on the campaign trail. We've met folks who've showed up to our events, who said that they're with us because of our commitment to protecting voting rights, to getting big money out of politics and ending Citizens United.
Again, Shanklin and Cook still in a close race in that one. We'll keep an eye on the 3rd congressional district. Now, this election also marks the first test of Wisconsin's new voting districts, with control of both the state assembly and Senate possibly up for grabs come November 5th. And that's led to some primaries in a couple of local districts. Now, Tara Johnson, who had previously been in the 3rd congressional district race, shifted her focus to try to take on 3-term Republican Representative Lauren Oldenburg. Johnson winning the Democratic primary easily tonight over Steve Campbell, a Viroqua business owner. A pair of Democrats also facing off in the new 93rd district, which now includes the northern reaches of Trempealeau County. With about 85% of the vote in, Christian Phelps currently in front of Nicholas Butler in that race. Minnesota voters also going to the polls today with some local primaries on the ballot and a whole host of candidates on both the Democratic and Republican side challenging for Senator Amy Klobuchar's seat. We'll have an update on that a little later on tonight. First, we're going to take a look at our state legislative races. In District 26A, the DFL race to fill longtime Representative Gene Pulowski's seat sees Winona native Sarah Kruger currently leading 53 to 47% over Dwayne Vogley, a teacher and Winona County Board chairperson. On the Republican side, 89% of the vote in, but the race has been called for Winona business owner Aaron Rapinski over Sparta High School teacher Stephen Dorr. And in the Republican 1st Congressional District primary in Minnesota, incumbent Representative Brad Finstad easily advances in his re-election bid. He'll take on DFL challenger Rachel Bowman come November. And you can, of course, find full results right now over at WXOW.com and our News 19 News app, free to download on both Apple and Android devices.